Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
I am 70 and working a great deal, trying very hard to make it possible to retire by 80. Recently, so this last year, I've had 2 offers from a company that would, if I followed those, they would probably make it possible for me to retire within a few years. But I feel a need to really these or this company, and I'm not sure how to go about that to be real thorough and making sure I'm not going to get myself into a big pickle. Another thing is that my husband would never approve of this, but he's in very poor health and doesn't expect to live long.
What are we talking about? Whoa, what are we talking about?
This is a company that establishes solar farms across the nation, and they pay a good rate of rent for your acreage, and they install.
Oh.
And you had 2 different offers
From the same company.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I mean,
And this is basically they want to lease the land for 15 years, right?
For 30 to 40 years.
30 to 40 years. Okay. All right. I've looked at these deals. I've had some friends that had some that were a little bit older than you, and the only question in the deal is twofold. Number one, you've got to make sure the company is solvent, and in the event of that they're strong financially, in other words, in the event they go bankrupt, obviously this lease is canceled, and then you've got a bunch of junk on your farm.
Yes.
Okay, that's got to be hauled off. It's very expensive to get rid of it. And so you've got to make sure this company's got 30 years worth of staying power financially. You're probably not going to be here 30 years. I doubt I'm living to 110, but but you might. But but you're leaving this mess for your heirs then. And my friend that was in their 80s was talking to their kids about what their kids wanted to do, because it really would only affect the 80-year-old for a period of time, right?
That's true.
And the kids would then have the issue with the family farm having a solar farm on it. So why would your husband not do it?
Hey, George here with a quick interruption. If something were to happen to you tomorrow, would your family know where to find your life insurance policy, your will, even your Netflix password? Well, Knockbox solves that. It's a kit that organizes your financial accounts, estate plans, and everything your family would need all in one place. That way they don't have to hack into your laptop or locate some long-lost thumb drive. So leave them a legacy, not a scavenger hunt with Knockbox. Ramsey fans get the best discount available at knockbox.com/Ramsey. That's knockbox.com/Ramsey.
Why would your husband not do it?
He loves his farmland.
Okay. Just that simple. Okay. The other downside is that you basically can do nothing with your piece of ground. It now has a lien against it. I mean, you could sell it, but it's still encumbered by this lease. It's a lien on the property.
Yes.
And so if someone wanted to buy it, they couldn't. They'd have to accept the lease as part of the equation.
Yes.
And so that's how our friend decided not to do it, because he didn't want he didn't want the farm tied up for the kids.
What is the land worth?
Currently about $3 million.
And how many acres are there?
It would be 45 acres.
And how many? And what are they offering you for? And how much of it are they going to tie up?
It would be most of it, all but about 6 acres.
Wow.
Well, it would be 45. We would be renting, but it would be about $4 million over 40 years.
You know what? You're not going to like my answer, but I wouldn't tie up a $3 million asset for that and have my whole backyard full of this. I would.
Yeah.
I would instead. I would sell some of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for that. That has been a consideration.
I would sell 10 acres and use that money to live off of.
Yes, and we could do that, and it's also something my husband is not eager to do.
I'm sure he would not want to do either of these things, but that's emotional, and we're talking about how you're going to eat, which is what you're
Right,
worried about.
exactly.
You're working at 70 years old, worried about how you're going to eat at 80.
Yes.
Yeah, and so your husband didn't save enough money when he was young and working to provide for his wife's food, and so we're going to sell some of his land to do that. I'm sorry, that sounds cold, but I mean that's the way my mind works. Okay, and so
Yes.
I'm going to pick out how I can carve off and make $1.5 million on 10 of the 45 acres that are maybe a premium cut of the 45, right? And you just got to decide how you're going to parcel that out in Portland, Oregon, and I'm going to start talking to a real estate agent about subdividing this and where I can drop a line with a surveyor, and I'm going to do that to eat with. And you still get to live in the place. You still got 35 acres, which is very nice.
And
if you
it's the way that he wants it.
And if you do it properly, you get to configure which 35 it is, right? But we've got to get enough out of the other to sit down with an investment broker and create an account. And if you did it right, you probably could get $1.5 million. If the whole thing's worth $3 million, I bet you could sell a fourth of it for $1.5 million. I bet you could.
And then you think about in the future when her heirs get it, what it's appreciated to, and now they don't have to deal with the red tape of having that solar lease on there.
Yeah. The problem with, again, her situation and the situation I looked at was the same one, was not as much the next 10 years. It was the following 20 years.
Ooh, that's a long time.
Yeah, it's a ground lease.
Yeah.
You can do long-term ground leases in commercial real estate, but it's not a scam. It's an actual offer. But you know, the one thing we do know about solar is its technology, and I can tell you this: you know what a 20-year-old solar panel is?
Useless.
Useless, because the technology has advanced dramatically in the last 20 years. And so what you've got is, you've got something the size of a tractor trailer that's doing something that the size of a car would now do, right?
Right.
And so
and they've got to dispose of that, and
it's a big old bunch of junk to haul off.
Holy smokes!
And yet we bought it thinking, we're going to make all this money over all these years when people are buying solar. Now, you can buy solar. There's nothing wrong with buying solar. I don't have a problem with that. This is a different discussion here. This is people leasing her land. And then what they do is they sell it to the local, they sell the electricity that's created to the local utility.
Interesting.
And that's where they make their money back.
Yeah, it just didn't feel like a fair deal. $4 million over 40 years for a piece that's worth $3 million today felt. I'd want more. At the very least, I'd want more money out of the deal.
Well, you still own the ground, but you can't do anything with it.
That's what I'm saying. So at that point, like you said, it's kind of useless at that point. So
yeah, exactly.
Good discussion.
It's the lean against it. It's an interesting discussion. I've not had that on the air before. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.